All right, Rev, 4-8 Wednesday, 20-minute workout. Here's what we have, okay? If you're looking at sugar wad, you'll see either 4 dumbbell main makers or 4 on each side. If you have a single object, I'll talk more about that, okay? But 20-minute AMRAP, 5 movements. You're gonna repeat that as many times as you can in 20 minutes, okay? After these squats, if you did the rev strength portion today, this workout's gonna be a lot tougher. If you didn't do the squats today, this workout might not feel so bad. Okay, 4 dumbbell main makers. We'll talk about that in a second. 6 box jumps or step ups. A 9-calorie row. Obviously, if you have a rower, 9 calories. If you don't, any piece of equipment for about a minute or less. If you don't have one, that's totally fine. I'll have a movement variation for you. 12 air squats, and then a 30-second hollow hold. Okay, so 20 minutes, 4 man makers, 6 box jumps or step ups. 9 calories on the row or 1 minute of cardio, 12 air squats, and then a 30-second hollow hold. So let's talk about that. So my little workout studio here, here's what we have. 4 dumbbell man makers. If you only have one object, I'd like you to give me 6 or 8 repetitions. You can pick, okay? If you have 2 dumbbells that are the same weight, great. You can use those 2 dumbbells for 4 total reps. Okay, but if you only have one, since you're only dealing with one object, we'll add a few repetitions to that movement, okay? 8 might be a little too many because it might slow you down a little too much. So let's go 6 for most of you. But if you're like, I love man makers, I want to do more of them, 8's your number, okay? I only have one of these dumbbells, so that's what I'm going to use when I demo today, okay? I get a lot of folks that give me flack about the dumbbell man maker, whether the row or the push-up comes first. Doesn't really matter because you're in the same position and one doesn't lead you into the next movement easier or better than the other. Okay, so a dumbbell man maker, remember, is a renegade row into a push-up, into a squat clean, into a press, or into a thruster, okay? Whichever way is easier for your body or mind to compute, okay? So let me demo one really quick with my single object. So I have an 8-pound dumbbell here. I'm gonna start in the high plank position. I'll start with my feet wide so that when I row, I don't have to rotate my torso. I'll do my 1 push-up, kick my feet in, clean this dumbbell up to my shoulders, squat, and press. That was 1 repetition. Okay, if you'd like to switch your hands or switch the object to the other side from there, perfect. Back to the floor, wide feet, row, push up, clean, squat, press, okay? If you have 2 dumbbells, you'll do that 4 times. If you have 1 dumbbell, you'll do that 6 or 8 times. You can pick, all right? 6 box jumps or step ups. It's a great opportunity to be near a flight of stairs in your home. I'd recommend, if you're really comfortable with jumps, jumping onto stairs can be a little freaky, okay? If you've done it before, great. If you haven't, just choose like step number 2 or 3 to comfortably step up to and then comfortably step back, okay? When you're doing it in class, so let's take my fancy dehumidifier, for example. If I step up onto the top of this and I stand all the way up, I only have to step back a foot or 2. If I have a flight of stairs that I'm using at home and I step up to the 3rd step, I need to step back 3 or 4 feet, so that's a little bit different. Okay, so think about that and try a couple before you do that movement to make sure it's safe, okay? 6 repetitions of that. So you go 4, 6, next move is 9 calories in your rower or 9 calories in a piece of equipment. If you have a ski erg, if you have a bike, if you have a treadmill, whatever it may be, keep that to a minute or less, okay? So for those of you that have a treadmill at home, it doesn't count calories, but it counts meters or tenths of miles. There's really no perfect conversion for that. There might be, but I'm not gonna hold you to it. Just keep it to a minute or less, okay? 45 seconds is probably more realistic for people that are consistent rowers, can row that in 45 seconds or less. Some can do it in 30 seconds or less pretty well, okay? So pick your time frame, minute or less, but longer than 30 seconds. So 45 might be the perfect number for you, okay? 12 air squats. We just got done, if you did our rev strength portion, with those pause squats. So these squats should feel very good. Your body should be very warm. Those air squats should look really good, okay? So the more I do air squats at home, the more I can pick myself apart. Because like most of you, I'm watching myself, on my Zoom call. I did a workout with Julie today. It was super fun. When you watch yourself, you really pick yourself apart as far as how the movement looks. So what I tend to do, and what I encourage all of you to do, is to have your hands out front. Because what that's going to do is it's actually going to engage all these muscles in your back, all the way from your shoulder blades down to the base of your back. It's going to help your torso stay more upright. As I need to use my muscles to bring my arms up and hold them there, those same muscles are required to keep my torso upright as I squat. Okay, so when I do my 12 squats, versus having my hands here or just slightly in front of my hips, I put them out to about shoulder height. And that allows me to stay on my heels a little bit better. You may have heard of a counterbalance squat, where you're holding weight out in front. That helps your body be a little bit more balanced naturally and helps you squat better. Okay, same as an elevated heel, or maybe when you first started squatting, put a plate underneath your foot, same properties apply, okay? Last movement of our complex is a 30-second hollow hold. A couple different ways to do this. This might start out pretty easy, but by the end of the workout, probably between that and the man makers, 2 of the more challenging movements today. All right, so what we're after is for you to essentially look like a banana, okay? I'm gonna be pointing my toes, pointing my fingertips. If you can look at me from here, this is essentially the position I wanna be on the floor. Okay, so if you can't see my whole body here, it's exactly what I'm doing. I'm laying flat on the floor, I'm pointing my toes, okay? My fingertips are going behind and out of the camera, but I'm going to engage everything from essentially my sternum to my hips to lift my shoulders and my feet off the floor and turn myself into a banana. Hold that for your 30 seconds and come up. If that's too difficult, which after a few rounds it might be, you can take one knee, pull the knee in, and hold this. This is gonna take less weight or strain off your core to hold it balance, because it's sitting over the top of your body and not super far away, okay? So a couple different ways to do that. If that's too intense of a core movement, you could always substitute that for like 15 to 20 sit-ups as well. That's another good core option, all right? So man makers, step-ups, calories, or cardio. I suppose I didn't talk about a cardio option for that. I'm sorry. If you don't have something like a minute or less, I would like to see shuffles in place today, okay? So if you don't have a piece of cardio equipment, I'd like to see 45 seconds of a fast shuffle in place for that cardio, okay? So you're just gonna keep your feet narrow, your hands out front, shoulders slightly forward. If you ever played any high school sports, you might have done these a lot, okay? You're just gonna shuffle your feet in place really, really quickly, okay? That's a great option for that row today for 45 seconds, all right? If you folks have questions, post them in the comments below or shoot me a PM. Have a great Wednesday, friends.